Some people just say something which is incredibly racist, and it's said in a way that sounds nice because it's politically correct, but the underlying tone is still rough. It's basically saying, this is for us, you don't look like us, so move on your way, otherwise we'll forcibly move you with violence like we have done back in the day. It's KBizzel and I'm here with...
Let's talk about it with Ochan.
We're gonna break down this video of this gentleman, I don't even know if you can call him a gentleman, but this person basically saying mass deportation is important, and also talking about the riot / 31st of August mass deportation protests which are gonna happen. All right, so let's check it out.
I think the migrants who came to Australia, particularly in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and even into the 80s, I think for the most part that was a success story because of three factors. Number one, they all, the migrants who came after World War II and up to the 1970s, the Europeans, they came under a policy of assimilation. So everyone was told you have to assimilate into the prevailing culture. No notion of multiculturalism. Second, they were Europeans. When the Europeans came here, they had a kind of underlying sense of Europeanness, but more importantly, they were Christians. Most of them, the overwhelming majority who came over here were Christians, and they much more easily assimilated into Australia, which was also strongly Christian in the decade after World War II. Third, and this is really crucial, maybe the most important point.
Triggered you, huh? You got something you want to say?
It's just that word assimilate.
Why?
You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy can move to Europe.
You can assimilate there
and
too.
He'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? It's home. You know what I'm saying? And he's here. Those guys from Europe came here and found him here. And they're like the same people because the way they live their life is the same. It has not changed.
Yeah.
Like the culture did not change. Some people might go, oh, you know, they all have different cultures and or whatnot. But I don't think they have different cultures. It's literally the same. The West is all the same.
It is. That's why it's easy for them to travel, and they make it easy for themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And talking about Christianity and all that, like, I don't see a lot of them really believe in that. They believe in money. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Money, power, status.
Yeah, they just care about money, domination, and all that. So it's like, I don't know what this guy talking about.
Yeah, you're on the money, bro. Pun intended. But like, to be honest, it's like, he's just basically trying to make excuses. He's just basically trying to say, look, it worked. It worked back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever time portion he's talking about. And he's probably got the stats, because racists always have stats, which are always skewed, you know what I mean? It's not like really somewhat relevant because it's out of context, or it's just in the context that they want it. But he's saying it worked. It worked because they looked like you, and they are you, and you set up the system so it will work for you. But you didn't assimilate or try to fit in with the indigenous culture, did you? Right? So now we bring a greater context. He's saying, oh, immigration worked back in the day because most people look like us and they came here. But the ones coming here now, e.g. Indians, Asians, Orientals, blah, 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 all them, that doesn't work. They're different, and we need to stop that. Well, let's hold you to the same standard. Why do you get to say they can't come, considering that you didn't try to fit into someone else's culture? And the only answer you can say is, I don't care, I had enough power, I want to take it, and that's what I do. Because if you don't say that, then you're gaslighting and lying to us. He can fluff around it however he wants, he can try to tiptoe around the scenario, but that's what he's saying at the end of the day. I want it to be this way, and my way is right because it's my philosophy. This is very hateful talk.
It is.
There was a strong culture and a strong Australian identity for immigrants to actually assimilate into. Australia was very obviously an Anglo-Celtic country. We had our own way of doing things, our own way of thinking, our own way of speaking. And it was tangible. They didn't need to conform to vague Australian values. There was an actual strong culture here for them to observe and to fit in with. Fast forward to 2025, the immigrants that we are taking in the hundreds of thousands now are from India and China and Africa and parts of the Middle East. They're not European. There's often not that deeper Christian affiliation. They're coming out under a policy not of assimilation, but under a policy of multiculturalism, where they're told, hey, you guys be yourself, keep your own distinctive strong, basically just obey the law and you're good. No wonder, we're getting ethnic tribalism in Australia. And third, the notion of who Australia is has become so watered down, even though we are still majority Anglo-Celtic, even though that is the most powerful aspect of our heritage, it's not really being taught in schools. And immigrants are being able to come in here and immediately just join large communities of their own ethnic groups. And so there's a sense in which we're not emphasizing the Anglo-Celtic nature of Australia. Massive ethnic groups already.
Bro's basically saying, if you're multicultural, you're not allowed to hang with your own people. You have to show allegiance to the flag, and you have to make sure that you do it our way. Because if you don't do it our way, you're already against the grain. You already don't look like us. You're already not from our culture. And because of that, guess what? We ain't gonna like that. And we have the position of power here. We have the position of power here. And if you don't look like us and you don't want to fit in and do it our way, and you want to hang with your own people, in other words, if you want to speak a different language, well, guess what? That's not the Australian way. He's offended that something's different. He's offended that something's different. And the fact that he can say that is wild. I have to say this. If you were a girl and you date or marry this guy and you know he has these views, you're an idiot. Imagine raising a child and having that in your household, right?
Do you know what's crazy? This would be the same guy go to Thailand and Philippines. That's a funny thing.
You know, and I do see that. He'd probably do that, but he would only want ladies or people who are going to comply and do it his way. You know what I'm saying? Comply and do it his way only. I'm going to be real, bro. That's rough to watch.
This thing died, bro.
Bro, we already seen too much of it anyway. We don't need to go any further. We already know what he's saying. You know what I mean? Keep those cameras rolling. Real talk.
My camera is dead, but you can keep going.
Yeah, well, real talk, I'm going to keep it real. What he's saying is quite dangerous, you know what I mean? I can understand you want to protect your culture. I can understand you want to preserve it. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But to basically say, hey, diversity doesn't work and we shouldn't have multiculturalism in Australia and it's been watered down now, that's very damaging because things should always evolve. Because he's basically saying we want to keep it like this. Look, if you want to marry into your own bloodline and keep it strong, that's fine. I've got nothing wrong with that.
100%.
Black people, white people do that. But it's when you say you can't come here because you're making it different, and if you are here, you don't really fit in, that's when the issue is. Because once we hold you to the same standard, you have no argument because you didn't assimilate to the indigenous.
They didn't.
Yeah.
Because when they came here, they're supposed to assimilate into the indigenous way of living, respect their culture, learn the indigenous languages, teach the indigenous history into schools. But that's some things that we don't have here.
They want to do it their way, which is fine.
Yeah.
And now they're complaining. Bro, you can't make this stuff up, dude.
It's crazy.
He's just you know when people be like, oh my gosh, it's all the older generation, when they pass away, it's going to be like
Racism
that.
is dead.
Yeah, it's not. It's live and prevalent because all his people and followers and people who believe in him, they're going to be young people as well.
Bro, I remember back in high school, somebody told me the same thing. They were like, oh, if the older generation die in like next 20, 30 years, then everybody else is going to change. Then there was an article that I read. It was actually done by Melbourne University. And they were talking about how the current Australians are more racist than the older generation.
It's not even funny. I don't even know why I'm laughing. Like, it's bad.
I'm like, that's actually crazy. Like thinking about it, like, God damn.
Because the institutions and the habits and the mindset and the history has been projected into a certain way, and then they have more power to like exert. Yeah, you can't say something out loud, but they're more like, they're better at deceiving and hiding it and knowing how to win and not getting away. That's why the phone the phone is almost like the best thing for ethnics.
100%.
Because you can protect yourself by like, well, I'm recording Karen, I'm recording Mr. Racist Man. Like you can do that and you can hold people accountable because they don't care that you think they're racist. They care about the trouble that they get in and not being able to make money.
100%.
You know what I mean? Or not be able to provide a
Going to
value.
job.
So they don't actually care about what you think as an immigrant or what you think as an upstanding white person. They care about the damage which is done to their reputation. Because no big business which wants to do things around the world, or even a small business for that, is going to associate with someone who's bringing them down.
To be honest, one thing I'm gonna add as well is if they didn't sail the world and go colonize the world and loot it, explode the world in like other different societies, I don't think anybody would have ever gone to Europe.
I don't know about that one. I feel like
You know what I'm saying? Because bro, think about it this way. Why would you leave paradise in Africa to go somewhere it's cold?
I do hear of other places and they have traveled, but they just didn't take over. They just
That's what I'm saying.
we did. They mingled and traded.
Trade. Like
Yeah.
we did trade.
But they want to dominate.
But we
like,
didn't
yeah.
go in people's houses, you know what I'm saying, all of that. We didn't do that.
Yeah.
It was just trade. Because, look, for centuries, we trade with Asians. We trade with some part of Pacific Islands.
Yeah.
We trade with them. We trade with the Americans. But Europe, I don't know.
It's just crazy too because it's like even further back before the American slave trade and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like. Well, I don't know if it didn't seem, but they were doing their own thing. These countries that were trading and doing
That's what I'm
what.
saying.
But then all of a sudden they're just like, no, we're just gonna enslave you.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just violent individuals, bro. It's like...
And I'm the angry black guy.
it's like violent individual. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, history already shows that these people are y'all are the most violent people out there. But yet, you scared of me just because I'm bigger than you.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
The mind, sometimes I do think as well, and I'll finish on this, I do think, did white people or Caucasian people or Europeans look at black people and be like, yeah, they're just maybe faster or more gifted in this area and we need to like hold them down before they can get to a space? Because I just think of it like, wouldn't you try to attack something which is a threat to you?
It is, yeah.
Or vulnerable. So we could have been vulnerable if we were vulnerable because we didn't have the technology in comparison to white people at that time. Okay. Or it could just be like, hey, we don't want these people to get up because they've got the minerals, they've got the country, they've got the resources, and they've got the manpower, and they've got the, like, you know, they can hang under the sun longer. They've got all these things which are in their advantage. So obviously they would have sized themselves up and been like, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. Or maybe some people in my culture can, but majority of my culture can't. So let's attack them. And what they did, which was smart but also evil, is they banded together. Hey, can strengthen numbers. Because black culture is more like me versus you, one-on-one, and let's settle it like men, gentleman's agreement after that. That's black culture. White culture is not like that. It's more like, I can't beat you one-on-one, but I'll use a system.
I get more people.
I'll use a system. And so that's my theory there. Hey, in the comments, tell us what you think. Am I just wild to think that? Or do you think there is some merit in terms of how this person who we react to the video is not giving credit and respect to the indigenous, and he's basically being a hypocrite and trying to kick indigenous out? What are your thoughts? It's KBizzel, I'm here with.
Let's talk about it with Ochan.
Let's get it.